You're listening to episode 53 of Fresh Floppies.
It's after 52. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? Decided to turn the mics on to talk about Fresh Floppies. Fresh Floppies is a show that we do every single week. Me being me. My name is me. And
My name is also me.
Me and me.
Me and me.
Me and me are here every single Wednesday to talk about the most recent issues that came out today. What issues? Floppies. Periodicals. The record skipped. Comic books, man. Floppy comic books. Issue-to-issue periodicals that tell a sequential story.
Yeah. I am super stoked. Oh, by the way, JD and Noel, we should say.
Me. You'll refer to me as me for the rest of this recording.
All right, me. JD says, Grommets #1 came out this week from Image Comics.
Oh.
It's one of 7.
Spoiler-free.
Oh, yeah. We should also mention. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're not going to spoil stuff. By Rick Remender, Brian Posehn, with art by Brett Parson and Moreno Denizio. Just straight off the bat, my book of the week. In a list of 3 books that I read so far.
Only 3? Wait, top? That means it's top 3 book.
It's top 3 book. Yeah, of the top 3, Grommets wins. So Giant Generator, I think, is Rick Remender's imprint, right?
Yeah, that's Rick Remender's imprint.
So a little bit about me, since you asked.
Me being you, not me being me.
Yes,
Okay.
me. Since I asked, I grew up I was born in 78. I'm an old head. I did not get into skating until I was in middle school, high school. So these guys got into skateboarding before I did. This takes place in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Sacramento, California in the early 80s. I didn't get until about a decade after. But man, does this tickle a very specific part of me that can relate heavily. We've got a kid who shows up. He's new in town, and he is trying to make friends. He's trying real hard. He just embarrassment after embarrassment, and comes across a group of skaters and thinks he's in with them, and they disappear, and then he makes one other friend. And then they go to the skate park. That's it doesn't really spoil anything, but this. Did you ever watch Freaks and Geeks?
Of course.
What did you think?
Yeah, no. What did I think of Freaks and Geeks?
Freaks and Geeks, yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite high school shows.
Yeah, it's slice of life. It's cringe comedy, but in a heartfelt way, not just watch these fools be fools.
This is that comic book for me. Man, this was just awesome. What did you think? I love this.
I loved this. So I didn't pull this because I wouldn't say tired of, but the last couple of things that were made like movies and stuff in this era and about this topic, I found really boring. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like that movie mid-90s, and then there was a couple of other I thought this was going to be a milquetoast documentary about growing up skateboarding.
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
Cliche after cliche. Mm-hmm. 2 pages in. This is adorable and really, really funny and incredibly smart. I will give a content warning. They talk like 1981.
Yes. They talk. We spoke. Well, I guess I was 3 then, but
yeah.
They spoke differently back then.
They are unaware of the world around them and the words that they say and how they have meaning. Weight.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of there's one slur in the back of the book, but during most of the book, I didn't say this when I was younger, but I could see this being. I thought it was like a fill-in. The bullies were calling Rick and Brian. Of course, first of all, this is written by Rick Remender and Brian Posehn with art by Brett Parson. The main characters are Rick and Brian.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Rick is the new kid. Brian is the weird braces loser.
Yeah.
That's like a Judas Priest t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So throughout the book, the bullies are calling them queefy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I never used that and I never heard that. So I thought that was a modern fill-in for Effie.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then at the end of, towards the last scene, they drop the F slur. The bad guys drop the F slur.
Yeah.
It is in context. It's weird. It's coming from people who don't even know what that means. Mm-hmm. But warning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
it's
little
there.
bit.
Yeah, but the book itself is absolutely wonderful. There's a scene in the back. Yeah, this.
Yes,
and I
yes.
I kind of need to spoil this because
Okay.
it has two different readings and both of them are absolutely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian, the character that talks a big game, is finally given the opportunity to drop in on a pool.
Yeah.
He's very scared. He goes for it because everyone's watching. And it's just, you assume he's just going to break.
Yeah.
But then you're treated to 3 pages of 12 panels each.
Yeah.
Of him. It's weird. It's like it starts with him grinding, grit teeth, determined eyes. We focus in on his eye, the pupil of his eye, and then all of a sudden, the big bang. A meteor. Meteor falls to the sky, hits molten lava, dinosaurs, cavemen. We're getting just the progression of absolute time up until this moment for him. And to me, it ends with a joke.
Yeah.
That precipitated his crazy fall.
Yeah.
But when I first started reading those 2 panels, I read it also as the evolution of him figuring this out. Mm-hmm. So, like, I first was reading it as time is flashing before his eyes. Uh-huh. He is in the moment. He has to capture it and do it. He's starting to do it.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a joke at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the most brilliant 3 pages I have read in a really, really long time.
And then the 4th page has my favorite scene progression that I've seen in a long time. This last panel, we can't spoil it, but this is delightful.
It's paper on pen. It is a static medium.
Yeah.
The real joy and gift of comics is how they create motion and transition, and I literally could hear the music.
Yeah.
With this whole last scene, It was some of the best shit I've seen. Who the hell is Brett Parson, and why are they not doing every book?
Yeah, he's awesome, and
I've never seen him before.
I've seen him before, and he kind of has a little bit of 70s Mad Magazine style, and the Gorillas.
Oh, Hewlett,
a little bit of Jamie Hewitt. But yeah, he's a fantastic cartoonist, and I would like to see much more from him. Speaking of music, they mention Rush.
Yeah.
And I never really listened to Rush.
Oh, yeah?
But there's a scene in the car, and they're like, oh, he puts on the cassette tape. And so it says the name of the album. So I was like, you know what? And I put on Spotify or whatever I have, whatever that app is, and Tidal. And played some Rush while I was reading the rest of this comic.
Oh, yeah, man. What is it? Infinite Moving Pictures.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. So this fresh AF for me.
Top-notch book. This is a top-notch coming of age, just beautiful comic. And you don't have to give a shit. I don't skateboard. You don't have to give a shit about skateboarding. This is just about like how weird it is to find friends when you're 12. Yeah. This is really awesome. Great. There's another book that I want to talk about that I was behind on, but I got caught up for this week.
We both loved issue 1.
Pine and Merrimac by Kyle Starks and Fran Galan. That number 5 comes out today, which is the end of the miniseries. Issue number 1 was very much it just set up a detective agency with these two okay. Yeah, he's flipping through the book. No.
Okay. Bad.
Don't, because issue 4 on is a wildly different experience.
Oh.
Yeah. So this starts as just a really, really good, almost sitcom-esque detective agency, former boxer and his former detective wife who physically can't handle murder.
Oh, okay.
Like, she used to be a homicide detective, and she has a guttural reaction to vomit or sob uncontrollably. So there's been a couple of scenes where she's like investigating a crime scene, and she's pinching herself to stop from vomiting, but she can't stop crying. So she's like, it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
But she's weeping, and she's just like, this was done by somebody that knows her. Look at this. It's very funny, but so they become a detective agency in a town far away, and stumble upon maybe trafficking, maybe a cult, maybe this is even weirder than that.
Okay.
This book is A+, phenomenal. This is one of the best miniseries that I've read since Alienated.
Oh, that is high praise.
Yeah,
Loved Alienated.
This was 5 So smart. And when I'm reading it too, I could literally see this being a movie or a TV show. And I don't mean that in he made it to sell as a movie or TV show. It is so cinematic. The pacing is absolutely perfect. These people have voices that I could fucking hear. Nice. This is one of the best books I have read in a very long time.
I can't wait to catch up.
I can't believe that I let 3, 4, and 5 sit. I almost feel bad not having
kept up.
Yeah, and read this as fast as you can too, because if anybody kind of spoils the weirdness that this goes into,
yeah, I can't wait.
So good.
So one of the things we liked about the first issue was the relationship between the husband and wife. They're actually like a happy couple. Is that?
Oh yeah, that still rolls.
Nice,
Yeah, it's the crux of the book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Marvel has been putting out an event the past couple of weeks called Blood Hunt.
So welcome to Blood Hunt Corner.
Midnight Suns Blood Hunt #1 of 3 by Brian Hill and Peralta, who is, I really should have had this ready to go.
Steve, Jason,
Brian,
Sal, so close. Jermaine
Peralta, that's what I said.
I was really close with Steve.
The Midnight Suns are a let's say a dark JLA, right? JLA dark, but in Marvel. So we've got Blade, Ghost Rider,
Magic Avengers.
Whom else is in here?
In this issue,
Tulip,
Blade, Ghost Rider, Tulip. Oh, Tulip. Yeah, Tulip is this the Johnny Blaze Tulip, or is this a Tulip from another series?
No, I think this is the Johnny Blaze. His recent ally and former Blade.
I was going to say, Tulip. I think she's in the new Blade book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I read the first 6 issues of that, and I think she's like his arms dealer friend. I forget her name.
Gotcha.
But either way, yeah, she's connected to Blade. Because I thought it was the lady that Blaze. What's Johnny Blaze's girlfriend? The original girlfriend.
I don't remember.
It's like Rose or Tulip or something like that. So
ago,
I thought it was. Yeah. Well, we just watched the cinematic epic that is Ghost Rider by Mark Steven Johnson,
starring Nicolas
Cage and Eva Mendes as ... Tulip.
No, it's not Tulip.
Yeah. Anyway, this basically reads as another issue of the Blade book. It's the same creative team, except the artist is different, but it's still the same style.
Okay.
We've got 2 Ghost Riders, Lilith.
Victoria Montesi, a daughter of the elder god Shlon.
Yeah. And then someone at the very end shows up. Oh, no. I think we're going to have a couple other, like, magic-y magics. But this isn't getting the team together because Blade's baddie now. I loved it.
Did you?
This was so incredibly comic booky. It in a weird way, it kind of read like an old, I'd say old, but it was really only 20 years ago. Like, a really, really good issue of New Avengers. Like it's like really well set up. I have a really good idea of, even though I don't know these characters.
I don't know most of these dudes.
I know exactly. I know what they're doing in the plot.
Yes.
So that's all that matters. Like you don't get lost with like, who's this? Like I didn't know who Tulip was for half the book, and I'm like, that's fine. I know what she's here for.
Yeah.
And I know what she's trying to accomplish. Yeah. So and I thought the art was really strong too. I don't know Jermaine Peralta.
Me neither. But yeah, no, I liked it too. I was like, oh man, maybe I like the Midnight Suns. Maybe I should like go back and read Blade first of all, the Blade mini or maxi series that just wrapped up before Blood Hunt.
Yeah, which they reference like 3 times in here.
So I dug this as well. I thought this was pretty fresh.
I think you should just read Brian Edward Hill.
Yeah, he's a dude. He's a dude that
like the Blade book was great. This is great. He's writing the current Ultimate Black Panther, which I think I got caught up and I think it's awesome.
That's right.
He's also done a couple of other miniseries and stuff. He's an excellent writer. He's a screenwriter and a comic writer. Awesome. Other blood hunty stuff that happened today. Black Panther #1, but man, I'm pulling a JD and I don't know the creative team.
Ouch!
Sherilyn Eaton and Farid Karami.
I do not know either of those names.
Neither do I. This book is very pretty.
Great cover.
It's great comic booking. Excellent cover by someone else. Oh, man, I got to go to the page again.
The Indicia?
Artist cover Andrea Sorrentino.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's Andrea Sorrentino.
That's surprising. Okay.
So the comic booking is really great. Wow. The story is, it's like directly after things go down. T'Challa has been turned, and now it's kind of cool. The very first scene, he smuggles himself back into Wakanda as a vampire, bad, but he still has his faculties because he smuggled some of the heart-shaped root, which allows him to kind of like stave off the hunger.
Oh,
it's a pretty good idea.
Okay.
But then it's like this is beautiful. Like he's sitting in a half pool of water, and just like the way the light is, it's just a really well drawn book. But it's also a little boring.
Oh.
It suffers from...
That's what I thought about Black Panther Main.
The main Black Panther book, not the Ultimate one.
Main Black Panther.
It suffers from having to kind of squeeze into a lot of continuity. I feel like a lot of characters are... And so it doesn't hold it down. It's still a very breezy read, but it also feels like I'm missing something, even though I kind of know what's going on.
Right.
It's if you're reading Black Panther, if you love Black Panther, solid.
I don't like his horns.
Absolutely solid.
His ears they look weird. He's got weird ears.
Well, when he puts his head down like that. It's all right. It's pretty good. I would say it's fresh enough.
Right on.
Yeah, I think everything else so far has been
tops.
Very fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh all day. One last book that I want to talk about that you didn't get a chance to read that I feel is worth noting.
Okay, I'll note it.
This is like is this a meme book?
Meme book?
Yeah, like
Hellverine.
Hellverine #1, written by Benjamin Percy with art by Ota.
Ota?
It's HTA. Man.
Oh,
it's in the way back. I hate everything. Julius Ota.
Yeah.
So this book came from a mini series from a year ago. Ghost Rider Wolverine.
Oh, I didn't read it.
So, if you have not read the miniseries, this is a safe jumping on point.
Okay.
Because the first 5 pages of this pretty much recaps that. It's a demon Bagragul. Is kind of connected to both Ghost Rider and Wolverine's past. There's a whole kinds of craziness about to get it out of a kid, they put it in Wolverine. He turns into Hell Wolverine. They fight, and they get separated. So now Hellverine, is something else away, has no host, and Wolverine is none the wiser. This book introduces a really fun idea about a government entity that is trying to harness hellfire.
Yeah.
To create weapons, monsters, other things. It's kind of a fun idea. I'm surprised they hadn't done it before. If they have, give it a different name, whatever. The Hellverine returns. They capture Wolverine. What's going on? And he's like, dude, that hasn't been a part of me in a while. So now it's a hunt to find whoever this Hellverine is and whatnot. What?
I kind of hate it. Is it good?
It's a fun book.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's just
having not read any of it. It's arbitrarily complicated. It's very silly, but I really dug the art. I like the idea of experimenting with hellfire, and the twist at the end, the reveal at the end, is pretty strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just what was the event a while ago? Was it Marvel? Yeah, it was Marvel, and then they would like mush together 2 different characters.
Infinity Wars?
Yes.
Infinity Warps?
Yeah, Warps. Infinity Warps, yes. It just sounds like that. The same thing they did Weapon H, and it was like Weapon X, but Hulk. It just seems like they're just like...
Isn't that character still around?
I have no idea, dude. I didn't even bother reading it. Which sucks, right? Like I shouldn't hate something without reading it, but it just didn't appeal to me. Let me say that.
That's fair.
This doesn't appeal to me either, although this Ryan Stegman cover is pretty gnarly.
You know what? And the I will say the artist, I had never heard of Julius Ota before, but I told you yesterday when I was going through it, it feels like they are doing their best to capture Stegman. The coloring is a bit different, but there is a way that he does faces and a way that he does gore that's it's almost like a reminiscent of or an homage to how Stegman has most recently been doing stuff like Vanish and whatnot. It's not as his figures are not as like I don't know,
bombastic, exaggerated
proportions like Stegman is. Stegman's like old school big muscles kind of guy.
Yeah.
This is more subdued, but you could, if this was a fill-in issue for a run on Stegman, I'd be the wiser, but I wouldn't be jarred out of existence. Like just like with the Venom run, I think the backup artist was Juan Guidon.
Oh yeah.
And they just kind of worked together. This is the same kind of feel, the same vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just fine. It was pretty fresh. If you're at all interested in the meme of a cover that this is, yeah, it's fun.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
We're gonna end with a high note.
Ultimate Spider-Man from Marvel, number 5, by Hickman and Messina.
Cinco.
And I'll tell you who Messina is not.
Oh God.
An artist that I like looking at. This talking about getting jarring artist coverage, replacement, I should say. Going from, what was his name? The first?
Marco Cicchetto.
Marco Cicchetto. We love Marco Cicchetto.
Yeah.
And this,
and I don't mind this guy either.
Oh, I do. It hurts me a little bit. It's not. It doesn't. The facial proportions are just constantly sliding off of their skull. But it's okay. This book is this was fine. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last 2 issues, issue 4. So issue 1, 2, and 3 was Cicchetto, and they were very show don't tell. It was a bit of a breakneck pace. Every single issue has a month jump.
Yeah.
And these 2 issues, 4 and 5, they have been very in the moment and talking heads focused.
Yes.
They're like, so I'm not.
That's true.
I don't necessarily miss. In a weird way, it would almost be a waste for Marco Cicchetto
just to draw faces.
To draw all of these conversations. The last issue was a double date between Norman and Gwen and
Peter and
MJ.
Yeah.
And you kind of learned about their dynamic, and it was really interesting. And then some stuff in the background. This gave us a full origin of the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every single issue of this book is, if anybody's noticed or not, obviously a lot of people have noticed it. People know how to read. It's a month jump every issue. So it's very breakneck.
Yeah.
This issue goes to literally, it shows Norman's journey from the inciting incident of this entire series, which is the terrorist attack in New York, and the last 4 months of his life and how he kind of found Peter.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh, great.
I loved all of the machinations. If those of you that are not reading this book, if you have not read Ultimate Invasion, I would strongly suggest you read Ultimate Invasion. There are a lot of callbacks to that series specifically in this book, in this issue, let alone this book. You'd asked me beforehand, who is this character? I don't even know if they have a name, but I knew where they were from, so it didn't bother me.
Same. Like, I knew who it was in context, but I was like, what's this person's name? There's another scene in here where we're introduced to someone in the shadows who had passed, and I didn't know who that was either. With the gloves.
Oh, whoever was supposed to have those. We don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's we don't know. So at the end of Ultimate Invasion, should I even spoil that technically? I mean, we're 5 months away.
Yeah,
from
I think you're all right.
At the end of Ultimate Invasion, they, Tony Stark and Reed Richards were able to abscond with a giant vault worth of all of these, hidden abilities for people that were supposed to be superheroes that the maker was keeping under lock and key, and they got as many out as humanly possible. We don't know what we got. All that we know is that these people were given like a package of some sorts with something that will help them kind of kickstart their latent abilities or what they were supposed to be.
Yeah,
with Peter, it's a pretty straight line of here's a spider, and here's a suit.
Let it chomp down on you. Yeah.
With other characters, I have no idea if it's going to be as direct. So we're introduced to the idea of just these gauntlets. Don't know what they are or who they were supposed to go to, but somebody took them and decided to become the Shocker. Which I'm assuming or hoping it's not just an empty thread. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because that person's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. They died of a heart attack after opening which is funny. Actually, you know what? It might just be a good enough
by itself.
Yeah.
Just be like, whoops.
Like this random person that you're never going to know got a hologram message from a known terrorist and magic inside and died. Died of a heart attack.
When you put it that way.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, The Messina of it all doesn't really bother me because of the context of the issue. If he was trying his hardest, there's your sliding face issue. I get it. I see it. Like this is almost like a weird amalgam of Pete Woods and a Dotson.
Yes. Excellent.
Yeah. And
that's exactly what it is.
It doesn't deter, but it also doesn't like get me jazzed like Marco Cicchetto does.
Yeah. Pete Woods, who else was I going to say? I immediately lost it. Oh, Criss Cross.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Even just like the white outlines of characters, like that shit.
Yeah.
I've never really been a fan, but I get it. It's fine. I was so kind of invested in, all right, what's going on with Harry? This is kind of cool. Yeah. And Gwen is an oddly mistrusting character, and I really dig it. It's a different kind of characterization for Gwen.
It's not how I've ever seen Gwen.
But we've never seen her this old.
Yeah, it's true.
So I get it. This is cool. And Cicchetto's coming back next issue to wrap up the arc. So I like to think that they were strategic about how they doled out these issues and how they're pacing them. So I am still 100% on this book. This is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the book. This is very by the numbers. Here's what you missed. It's an info dump of an issue.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that I didn't enjoy it, but it wasn't as kind of snappy and fun as the other issues.
Why do you hate Ultimate Spider-Man? Is this like a thing? You hate all Spider-Man? Or if it's a popular Spider-Man, you hate it?
I hate comic books.
You only like the ones that people hate.
I hate paper.
People hate ASM, so it's your favorite.
That's true. I'm very contrarian. Yeah.
What else is coming out this week that you're excited about?
I don't know. Oh, Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, #2. I really like the first issue. The cover for this is also baller. And I'm definitely going to catch up on Pine and Merrimac. It's like 5 issues.
Dude.
Quickie.
Get on it. I'm very excited for Death Ratioed by Mark Russell, art by Lacey and Marco Lesko. It is a one-shot, like a full story by AWA. I have no idea what it's about, but it seems like an episode of Black Mirror, and the art looks pretty cool.
Want to give a shout out and a thanks to the Omnibuds Cafe Facebook group for making us their YouTubers of the month.
Yeah, this past month.
Yeah, they are a wonderful group of folks who love comic books and omnibuses. And
they love comic books, omnibuses,
epic collections.
Hate being at everyone.
Yeah, they do not like that. But thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate it. And join us tonight for our live stream at 8:00 on YouTube.
We're going to talk about
Furiosa.
Yeah, a Mad Max story.
Saga, bitch.
Story.
It's a Mad Max saga.
I mean, the whole thing's a saga. An episode in the saga is just a story, right? Like, I hate that title.
Issue.
Yeah, at least with Solo, they said a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
And with Twilight, it was New Moon, the Twilight Saga.
Gotcha.
Not a Twilight Saga. It's not a saga in a saga in a saga.
Well, we'll debate that later on. Join us.
I will never mention it again.
And we will talk at you later.
Doo-doo-doo.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.